Hello and welcome! We are here to break down the recently released spoilers from Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 92. Now, upon first glance, these, they seem kind of basic. Let's just call it what it is. It's like, oh, here we go again. We've all seen this story. It's just the rinse and repeat from the superhero movie. It's nothing. There's nothing new going on here. There's no new creative liberties being taken, no new directions, and the dialogue is generally the same. But there is something that I picked up on in the dialogue, specifically between Piccolo and Gamma 2. I believe it's Gamma 2. I'm pretty sure it's Gamma 2. They look very much the same. I think, no wait, 2's got the two fins, right? Okay, yeah, so it's 2. So, yeah, the dialogue between Piccolo and Gamma 2 seems pretty, pretty dry and uninspired and, just pretty basic. This is the same story from the movie. But something I still think is very interesting and could lead to some possible great storylines, and in anticipation of the end of Z, I just couldn't help but point this out. What could be a huge plot device moving forward as we approach the end of Z and beyond. By the way, if you're excited for everything that's still to come from Dragon Ball Super and you're you're like the rest of us, hoping and praying and just can't wait to get past this arc, hit the like button, subscribe, because there's plenty of more Dragon Ball content still to come. We are weathering a storm, but we will get there, and I will be happy to drive one of these ships to usher you into a new and more exciting era of Dragon Ball. So the actual dialogue that I wanted to key on here is where it happens right here on the first page, where you see Gamma doing his poses, looking at Piccolo, and Piccolo sees the Red Ribbon Army tag, and he says, and I quote, "That mark, I remember it from when I was God." Or Kami, however you want to say it. And this is, of course, alluding to the fact that Piccolo used to be three different people. Since the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, I guess, he was originally just, Piccolo, like the Piccolo Jr., the guy from the egg, from the asexual Namekian reproduction, from Demon King Piccolo. He was Demon King Piccolo's, I guess you could call it, son. And then he eventually fused with Nail, the guy who got his ass beat by Frieza back on Namek. And then he eventually fused with Kami, who was Demon King Piccolo's other half. Now, it's funny that this all released right around now, because buddy over there at Laughing Stock Media, I forget his name, but he's a really cool dude. It's a really cool channel. He does a lot of great videos. Definitely go check him out. But he just released a video talking about how why Piccolo can't create Dragon Balls, and he goes into this whole thing about why the manga says Piccolo can't just create his own Dragon Balls, and that he's a warrior Namekian, and a couple of different things that he points out. But something that I saw in the video is that he had a scan from the manga back in the Cell Saga, where Kami makes a point to say that if they combine, Piccolo will of course get a great power boost, but also gain vast knowledge, meaning Piccolo would take on Kami's power and maybe then some, because now they're the two halves have been brought back together. And then Piccolo would also get everything that Kami knows, just like how he did for Nail, and how Piccolo was able to recognize Dende off of Nail's memories of him and stuff like that. Now we know that Dragon Ball is no stranger to retcons and all of that stuff. And you know what, this wouldn't even really be a retcon, because you could say, well, it wasn't, Kami didn't think it was important to bring it up at the time. But seeing as how Kami was a god and part of that whole hierarchy, he was familiar with King Yima, and there's no reason to think he wasn't on some level familiar with the Supreme Kai, and I guess if you want to talk anime, the Grand Supreme Kai, and maybe even he had some knowledge about Whis and Beerus. Who knows? Piccolo, I mean, not Piccolo, but Vegeta knew about Beerus. That's been, like I said, sort of a retcon, but not really, just because, he just never thought it was worth talking about. but Vegeta knew, Frieza knew about Beerus. You know, who's to say that Kami didn't know about Beerus and Whis and the Grand Priest and hell, even the Omni King? Who's to say what Kami did and didn't know? And like I said, this is a great opportunity. Could be a great plot device moving forward as we approach the end of Z for Dragon Ball Super, because as we saw in the Granola arc, there is a lot of information out there, a lot of mystery, undisclosed facts and knowledge when it comes to the Namekian race. They're apparently from a whole nother dimension. They've been alive for, you know, countless eons. They're a race that dates back a long time. And of course, they possess the powers of creating the Dragon Balls. And then, oh yeah, Zamala, the creator of the Super Dragon Balls, he's still out there somewhere. And this could all be somewhat connected in a future saga of Dragon Ball Super. Through the efforts of the Dragon Ball Superhero movie, Piccolo has been put, you know, more into the forefront of the Dragon Ball storyline, which is great. I think, you know, lots of fans are big fans of Piccolo and of course Gohan, so seeing them come to the main stage is awesome. And yeah, now that they're getting, you know, their power has risen to be on, you know, par with Vegeta and Goku, you know, it's not exactly clear on who's stronger than who right now, but they're all definitely in the same sort of stratosphere, I think it's safe to say. And Orange Piccolo is now very much a part of the conversation of, you know, greatest warriors in the universe and maybe multiverse. And we still don't even really know what the Orange Piccolo form is all about. Same with the Beast Gohan form. We still don't know what all of that is about. And yeah, we didn't get really any details in the superhero movie, but in the manga, this could all very much be different. Once Piccolo achieves Orange Piccolo form, he could be like, oh, this form is somewhat familiar to me. You know, I have these very deep, you know, distant memories from my time as, you know, Kami about this form and my ancestors. And, you know, it causes Piccolo to do some more reflection and, you know, self reflection, yeah. You know, do some introspective thinking, and he just gets a lot more curious about the history of the Namekians. What all did Kami know? Like, he has to look within himself to find all this information that he's just been kind of ignoring throughout his life. And, you know, for what, I guess a couple past decades, you know, or I don't know, how much time has it been since the Cell Saga? It's been a while, right? So yeah, he's been ignoring this information for a while, and now with the universe ever shifting around him, and, you know, all these great warriors popping up and the multiverse really becoming a thing, and all the lore that's being divulged by other Namekians across the universe in the manga, we really may be getting to a point to where it all comes to a head, and it may be starting right here. Well, it kind of started back in the Cell Saga, but starting right here in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 92 spoilers, where Piccolo makes his offhand, seemingly, you know, not important comments about formerly being God and having memories from this other life. But hey, that's just my theory, that's just my prediction. I think this could be going somewhere. Of course, not anywhere immediately. We are still very much going through the Dragon Ball Superhero movie saga, and they're seeing this all as, you know, the same saga. Like, the prequel arc wasn't a prequel arc, that was just the superhero arc, you know. As shown on the official Dragon Ball website, they refer to this chapter, Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 92, as being Chapter 5 in the superhero saga. So it's all very, you know, just one big story, and, you know, unfortunately, we've kind of already seen it, so we just kind of got to suffer through this. But maybe there's little Easter eggs like this along the way, and that, of course, makes it fun, which, you know, Dragon Ball, you know, even in its darkest days, even in the most boring of timelines, Dragon Ball will still be something that is just on some level of fun. So, like I said before, like and subscribe if you got this far in the video. You're clearly a fan of Dragon Ball. More Dragon Ball Super manga content on the way. A bunch of other Dragon Ball content on the way. Thinking up a couple good ideas that hopefully I'll be able to share with y'all soon on just, you know, different, you know, ranging from, you know, the Dragon Ball FF fanfic to, you know, maybe a couple new ideas or covering the Super Dragon Ball Heroes manga. You know, that's something I've been hearing a lot of good things about, and it's hella interesting every time I look at it, especially the manga. I mean, not the manga, the anime. I think I might start covering that too. You know, there's a lot of cool things that can be talked about when it comes to Dragon Ball, and not that many content creators do. You know, there's a lot of people just kind of talking about the same things, and, you know, doing their version of a what if, and that's all good and well. You know, it's all cool, but there is definitely another lane out there, and I think I can help maybe fill it out a bit. So yeah, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, definitely like and subscribe. Bunch of new content on the way, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.